Welcome to this video on using the Content Query web part. In its simplest use, the Content Query web part offers a more appealing display compared to the List View web part. However, the bigger advantage of the Content Query web part is its ability to combine information from several lists or libraries. In this video, we'll demonstrate use of the web part for display, as well as its ability to roll up information across lists and sites. NCDOT has companion videos that give an introduction to web parts. We suggest you view those first if you haven't done so yet. Inside NCDOT, let's look at a library that contains help files for SharePoint contributors. The library is called Contributor Documents. These are the help files, and you'll see that the document type indicates the help topic. In the library, there's a view called Library Help, which displays only the help files related to libraries. Let's go to the home page of the same site. Here we use the List View web part to display the Library Help view. We then edited the view within the web part to hide the toolbar, remove the document type column, and add a title. And you'll see it's easier to use than the original Library Help view in the library. Let's scroll down the page to see a Content Query web part that shows the same help files. The web part has been customized by NCDOT to have a simple bullet and hyperlinked title, which is really all you need. On Connect NCDOT, here's a similar library that also contains help files. There is a view called Navigation that displays the help files related to site navigation. Here's another page where we use the List View web part to display the navigation view. We then edited the view within the web part to hide the toolbar, add a title to the web part, and remove most of the columns. Again, it's easier to use than the original view. Let's scroll down the page to see the Content Query web part that shows the same files. The web part has been customized by NCDOT and is now a very clean and easy-to-use display with a subtle rollover effect. Now that we've seen how the Content Query web part can display data, let's look at an example of configuring that display. We will create the Content Query web part that we demonstrated in the previous example using the same Contributor Documents library. Let's go to the page where we want the Content Query web part. Open the page for editing by clicking the Page tab and Edit. Let's place the content in the header, so scroll down to the header zone and click Add a web part. In the web part gallery, click the Content Rollup category, then click the Content Query web part and Add. Scroll down to the Content Query web part and click Open the Tool pane. If you see a prompt to save changes, click OK. Scroll up to see the entire tool pane and expand the Query section. Choose Show Items from the following list and click Browse. Expand the Contributor Work Zone website and select the Contributor Documents library. Click OK. The default list type and content type are correct, so we don't need to change anything there. And we will not use audience targeting or navigation context. Scroll down to Additional Filters and define a filter for document type is equal to Libraries. Expand the Presentation section. Scroll down and sort items by title in ascending order. This should seem familiar because it's similar to creating a view. Group style should be default, and item style should be image on left. This creates a bulleted list with a hyperlinked title. Scroll down and expand the Appearance section. Enter a title of Library Help. Scroll down and click OK to save the changes in the tool pane. Then save the page. Here's our result. Help files that cover library topics with results in ascending order. The bullet list uses images, and the title is a hyperlink. In this example, we'll query a library in the Contributor Work Zone site and display selected results in the Designer Work Zone site. This query crosses site boundaries, but both sites must reside in the same site collection. Let's go to the page in the Designer Work Zone where we want the Content Query web part. Click the Page tab and Edit to open the page. Let's go to the Header Zone to add the web part. In the Web Part Gallery, click the Content Rollup category. Then click Content Query and Add. Scroll down to see and edit the Content Query web part. Click Open the tool pane and, if prompted to save changes, click OK. Scroll up to see the entire tool pane and expand the Query section. Choose Show Items from the following list and click Browse. Here is where we will browse to the Contributor Work Zone, which is a different SharePoint site than the one we are in. Select the Contributor Documents library. Click OK. Scroll down. The default list type and content type don't need changes, and there is no audience targeting or navigation context in this example. Let's scroll down to Additional Filters and define a filter for Document Type is equal to List. This sets up the query to select the help files that are tagged as dealing with lists. Expand the Presentation section. Scroll down and sort items by title in ascending order. We will again use the group style of default and item style of image on left to create a bulleted list with a hyperlinked title. Expand the Appearance section and enter List Help as the title. Click OK to save the changes and save the page. Here's our result. You'll see the help files that cover list topics. The results are in ascending order, the bullets are images, and the title is a hyperlink. This example takes 3 different announcement lists on one site and combines them into one list on the site's homepage. There are 3 sets of announcements, 2 Microsoft announcements, three NCDOT announcements, and 2 NCDOT IT announcements. Let's go to the home page, click the Page tab, and click Edit. In the Header Zone, click Add a Web Part. In the Web Part Gallery, click the Content Rollup category, the Content Query web part, and Add. Scroll to the newly inserted web part and click Open the tool pane. If prompted, click OK to save changes. Scroll up to see the entire tool pane, expand the Query section, then scroll right to see the rest of the tool pane. Choose Show Items from the following site and all subsites, and click Browse. Click the Contributor Work Zone since it contains the announcement lists. Click OK. Scroll right to see the tool pane again and click Announcements as the list type. We don't need to change content type. There is no audience targeting, navigation context, or additional filters in this example. Scroll down and expand the Presentation section. Sort items by title in ascending order. Scroll down to check that the group style is default and item style is image on left. Scroll down to expand the Appearance section and enter all announcements as the title. Click OK to save the changes and close the tool pane. If you get an error message about a problem with field values, review the sections of the tool pane until you see a further explanation. In this example, the problem area is in the Presentation section. Delete URL path from the link text box, click OK, and save the page. The All Announcements web part shows all 7 announcements from all 3 lists. It has a 2 after its title because there's another web part with the same title farther down the page. In this video, we've examined how to work with the Content Query web part to gather and display content. We encourage you to check out our other SharePoint videos, as well as the reference and training materials on the SharePoint Help site. On Connect NCDOT, there is a link to Help on every page. Go to the main Help page and click SharePoint Help to see the SharePoint Help information. On Inside NCDOT, there is a link to the Help site in the header and footer of every page. Those links also take you to the SharePoint Help site. For information on upcoming SharePoint classes, log into Beacon and check the LMS training calendar, or contact the PC training group. Thanks for watching.